And we're live. Welcome everyone to another coffee date with Danette. Thank you so much for joining. Those of you that are hopping on now and joining us live, I'm so excited because I'm talking to just a beautiful, powerful woman of God and someone who has taken life by the horns and is turning it into just an opportunity to live her passion, just focus on the things that she loves to do, focus on serving God and focus on her purpose. Okay. So today joining me is the one and only Kinara Lloyd from, tell us where you're from.
I am right here from Nassau, Bahamas.
Yes, yes. You know, Kinara is a member of our group. So those of you who have not realized that she's in the group, yes, she's right here in the group with us. I'm telling you, this group is filled with powerful women who are just making life happen for themselves. Okay, and Kinara is a beautiful example of one of you. Of one of you. Okay, so today she is gonna sit with us on Coffee Date and with Danette, and she's going to share a little bit about what's happening in her life, in her business. And she has an exciting opportunity that we'll get to a little later on. So welcome, Kinara. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Danette. Thank you so much for having me. I'm truly privileged and honored to be a part of your time here today.
Pleasure to have you. So I want to say that Kinara is a life influence coach. Okay. So start off by telling us exactly what that is, please, and tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay, so if I were to start from the beginning, a few years ago, I founded the Training and Influence Center after ending my 14 plus year career in banking. And I really established the business because I wanted to be able to do something that I was passionate about, something that I loved. And so I facilitate training seminars for both personal and professional development. And I also incorporate the coaching aspect in my business. And initially, I started out with general life coaching. Um, as a service where I help people to be able to really attain their personal and professional goals. And since doing that, that's something I always did, even in my time in banking, and I loved it. I've recognized more of my niche, which is the spiritual coaching aspect. And so the life influence title is really an acronym for living in faith every day. And so I am one who definitely live by that motto. And so I just want to be able to help others to have that same experience. And so I've incorporated the spiritual life influence coaching to my practice. And I absolutely enjoy being able to help people achieve and attain their spiritual goals.
Okay, awesome. So, what is the difference between, or what would you say is the difference between coaching someone? So, I know you were a customer service manager in a major bank here in the Bahamas. And in that capacity, you were able to do quite a bit of training and mentoring, right?
Definitely.
So, what is the difference between mentoring someone or coaching someone in a workplace environment and coaching somebody as a spiritual life coach?
Okay, well, the thing is, you can use the techniques and the practice for any particular area, specialized area. And so, what I did in my banking career when I coached professionals, and certainly even under the aspect of just general life coaching to help people achieve their personal life goals, be it to change a career or to get married, or if it's a professional goal to get a promotion, whatever the case may be. Those same techniques are used to help people to appreciate their spiritual life goals. I know a lot of people are desirous of drawing closer to God, or they're perhaps just curious about who He is. And whilst there are many options available for people to perhaps go and find that information. Some people are just not interested, or they don't connect with that style of, of, of information in order to know more about him. And so I have, like I said, incorporated the spiritual life coaching in my business to be an alternative option for persons who want to understand God. And we follow the same coaching techniques and assessments and goal setting to help them achieve just that, and to help them really connect with God on a personal level.
So what type of people do you coach? So I know we can go to church and learn about God, or we can, look on the internet and learn about God, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but what are the kind of people that you find are coming to you? Like, what is some of the key things that you've noticed about them that make them unique?
Okay, so what I'll say is this. I believe I draw a certain kind of individual based on what I've been called to do. And whilst I know who God is, and I've gotten my foundation in a wonderful church, I recognized that even for me, sometimes the way in which the delivery is presented, or just the whole formatting, it doesn't always connect as well. And so if I'm able to help people to appreciate that, yes, you can know God, yes, you can serve him, but it doesn't necessarily have to come packaged one way. In order to do that, then I believe that I am being effective. And so individuals who want to, whether you're in church or not, you just want to be able to take your relationship with God to the next level. I am simply offering you a way to sit down, let's strategize, let's set a game plan. We're using the same business techniques, but to help you accomplish your spiritual fulfillment, and that longing for that connection to your creator that you may have always had. And so that's what I do, Danette. I am by no means, I just wanted to be clear, I'm not saying that church uh, is not an option. I'm not saying that something is wrong with that. I am
Mm-hmm.
simply reaching an audience of people who want to, whether you're in church or not, develop further, mature your relationship, or even connect with him for the first time if you have not as yet. So let's talk about that, and ways for you to do so.
And that's one of the beauties of the variations in people. As a child, I always appreciated the differences in people, and I remember looking at all of the people. Well, my dad was a pastor, so I was always around people. Okay,
Oh,
whether it was young people, old people, every kind. And what fascinated me was the differences in people. So I would, as a child, look at their hands and see how everybody's hands and fingernails are different, or their voices, and I don't know, it was just childhood fascination. Okay. And but one of the things that it led me to do is start to grow a serious appreciation for personality types, and for honoring the uniqueness in individuals. And I believe that because we are so diverse as a human race, and because our personalities are so diverse, we are now in a place where we embrace the concept that there's not a one size fit all approach to bringing people to God, bringing
exactly.
people to a relationship with God, because everybody is different, and all of our experiences build us into who we are. So those people who may have whatever reasons they're not really interested in going into a church building, maybe they grew up under the church and they never connected, but they would connect with an individual who they just have some other connection with for whatever reason, who can
Yeah.
now share with them
Yes.
about their relationship with God, you see.
Yes.
And that is, I think, a very beautiful, very maturing life purpose that is evolving for you, because you're able to now reach those that haven't been reached as yet.
You're right.
And that gives
Precisely.
yeah, and that gives you the opportunity to fulfill your purpose in your own unique way, with your own unique experiences and your own unique perspectives. And now look at us, we're all contributing to building the kingdom of God. once we step into and
Exactly.
embrace and accept who we are.
Yes, you're like I said, you're spot on. For me, you said you were a PK, a pastor's kid.
Yeah,
I
I was a pastor's kid.
I didn't really grow up churched. However, when I got saved as a teenager, and I always tell people, had it been for certain kinds of environments, I probably would not have ever been interested because I thought I was a cool, semi-popular teenager. I was able to fit in with the popular crew as well as the not so popular. I was always that perfect mix in between there, and I just wasn't attracted to certain kinds of deliveries in speaking about a God or growing in Him or knowing Him. I was actually a bit caught, I would say turned off, for lack of a better term. And when I got saved, though, I got saved in an atmosphere where people were like, wow, they were sophisticated, but they were passionate. They were on fire. It was on. It seemed so much more authentic,
Mm-hmm.
and that is where I fell in love with my Creator, and I have never looked back since. And so I recognized that whilst that it was necessary, certainly, to be in an environment where you can get the word, where you can learn truth, and make sure that it's certainly biblically sound truth. I realized that there are other alternative options still for people to learn about God. And nowadays, unfortunately, it just breaks my heart to see that so many more people are not interested in church. And there's a whole plethora of excuses that people use, of course,
Yeah.
from what they do wrong, or what they always trying to get this from you, and no kind of no field of work or organization is perfect. You will
Right.
always have shortcomings, and the church is certainly by no means the exception. Um, and so I believe God called me to be able to reach people in a different setting, and specifically under the umbrella even of the business field,
Yes.
attract those persons who want to know, but who may never walk through the halls of the typical um, church setting.
Absolutely. And I'm so happy to hear that, to know that you're out there doing this work, because it's important work. So
Yes.
I just wanted to ask you, what are some of the results that you see your clients getting after going through coaching with you?
Okay, awesome. I am always so elated when I realize that people are grasping it, they're getting it. They are able to draw closer to God. They are their eyes are opening. They're experiencing connection like they never knew they could. For them, God is no longer just something or someone that we are obligated to serve, or to make sure that we stay in His good books.
Right.
God becomes, yes, He is our Father. Yes, He is Lord, and He is certainly Savior of our souls. But He wants to be a friend to us. God wants to have personal a connection and intimacy with every single human soul that He created. And so when I help people to just be able to appreciate that truth, and to want to then grow closer to Him, to spend that time with Him, and they come back and they're able to say, "Girl, this what happened since last week. This prayer I was answered. Oh my God, so much things is happening in my life now that I'm drawing closer to the God, the favor and whatnot." And so that is some of the results that I have seen since being bold enough to do this work that God has called me to.
Yes, and it takes being bold. It takes stepping out, and you, like you said, it's a life of faith.
Yeah.
Okay, it takes not knowing exactly what I'm going to be doing, but I know I'm supposed to go this way, so I'm going to take the first step. And like Martin Luther King said, you don't have to see the whole staircase. You
Yes.
only need to know what the exact next step is.
That's
And then
right.
when you take that step, then the next step is revealed.
And
But
that
it,
is so like God. He shows you the end picture, but you don't necessarily always get the details of the exact route you're going to take or the
mhm,
destination. He shows it to you. You don't know how exactly you're going to get there. So, for example, when I established the Training and Influence Center, after being home for almost a year, I first of all did that under the direction of the Holy Spirit. I thought I was just going to do a training institute to continue with my professional skill set and train individuals for the business environment.
right.
It was so surprising to me when the Holy Spirit began to say, listen, I want you to incorporate the spiritual training under this business as well. I was like, what? God, what? Who does that? I've never heard of that before. How do you do that? And he was like, I want you to do it. So I am now, like I said, offering both um, personal, which incorporates the spiritual development, and professional training seminars, as well as coaching services to my clients. And it makes so much sense now. It's so clear. I see no issue with it now, but in the beginning, because it was so new, it was different. It was like it really required a faith move.
Absolutely. So I see some of you are on. Hi, Marisa. Just want to shout out. Hi, Marisa. Hi, Tamika. Those of you that are watching, if you're watching and you feel like you're being drawn to something, okay, I just want you to drop a star in the comments so that we know, hey, that's you. You're identifying with this conversation we're having today with Kinara, because I also want you to know that you do not have to know everything. That desire, that pull, that draw to do something is life, is God calling you to come up to the next level. That's what it is. That's what it sounds like. That's what it looks like. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we think, oh, it's just a fanciful idea. I can't see how it's going to happen. I don't have the money. I can't touch the money to how to make it happen. I don't know the steps. And so we stay stuck. We stay playing small, like we're not being called to the next level. Okay.
Exactly.
But I'm going to encourage you today. You don't have to stay stuck. Talk to somebody who has gone the path. Find somebody. Doesn't have to be me, doesn't have to be Kinara, but get searching on what is the next step. If I were to move forward with this thing that's pulling me, and it may not be coaching, it may be opening a massage therapy business, it may be opening a brick and mortar business. It doesn't matter what it is. But if you feel that call, that drive, I want you to just take the next step. One step. You don't have to see the whole thing. Just take the next step and figure out what that next step is for you, and have the courage today, have the faith today to take it. Even if it's Googling it online and seeing what's out there, who else is possibly doing what I'm thinking I want to do.
Yes. I love the saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
just make the first move.
So, Kenara, you actually created what I like to call a movement around this topic, understanding God. Okay. And you have an event going on right now. So, tell us a little bit about what's happening in your business.
Sure. Okay. I am very excited to announce the Understanding God Virtual Summit, which started last month after quite a few busy weeks of preparation and working with international and local, as I deem them, God experts who are able to provide insight and answer questions that people may have about who God is and understanding Him better. And so, what it is really is a series of online videos that you can avail yourself of for free. It's totally free of charge. There's no catch. And I just wanted to be able to offer this forum to people so that they can opt into the Understanding God community and see the conversations that I've had with these individuals. We've talked about a whole lot of subject areas under the banner of Understanding God. and we've answered some difficult questions. We have provided, I believe, a lot of more details and clarity on some common things that people have about how to comprehend some of the challenging ideas around knowing who God is and understanding how He operates and so on. And so I really hope that a lot more of our local audience or people can certainly opt in, so you can take advantage of these videos. It's available to the entire world, and so we have people tuning in from all over and benefiting from the video interviews that I've had with these authors, pastors, podcasters. Some of them are counselors, therapists, you name it, aka God experts. And so I'm really excited to offer this to you, and I pray that you'd be able to take advantage of it.
Okay, all right, that sounds very interesting. So talk to us a little bit. I know you said it started a couple of weeks, about a month now.
Yeah.
So are there any experts that you would like to highlight in particular, or any topics that you would like to highlight in particular?
Sure, sure. Well, we launched the Understanding God Summit with an interview I did with a pastor from the United States. His name is Mike Shreve, and his topic was, I thought, very intriguing. And that is, are all religions simply the different paths to the same God? I know that's a hot subject matter, right? People are like, well, I'm Christian, or I'm Rastafarian, or
Mm-hmm.
what if I have a Muslim friend? Aren't we all serving the same God? And so,
Mm-hmm.
what we did was answer that question, providing relevant evidence and meaty nuggets to help people to appreciate and then to consider, to weigh them out, to make a decision for yourself, really.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so that was pretty interesting. That was this really taken in. A lot of people watched it anyway, and appreciated what was said in that discussion. And from here, right here in the Bahamas, we had Pastor Dave Burrows. And I'm sure most of you, our local audience, would appreciate that he is the senior pastor now of Bahamas Faith Ministries, having succeeded the late Dr. Miles Monroe, who was one of my spiritual fathers. And he really delved into another subject matter that a lot of people have questions about, and that was, how do we trust God after tragedy? Now, of course, Pastor Dave, along with the entire Bahamas Faith Ministries family, was really devastated after such a shocking occurrence with the loss of not only Dr. Miles Monroe and his wife, but their youth leaders in the persons of Lavard and Riddell Parks, and even the second in charge at BFM, Dr. Richard Pinder. It was really low, and it was a shock, not only to them locally and to our Bahamian family, but to the world, because of course he was well known. And so um, he really provided some insight as to how he personally, as well as in him leading the ministry, how they digested that. What do you do? How do you continue trusting God? Or should you? What do you do? And some of the tangible steps that you have to go through when you have such tragic occurrences take place.
Yeah, and that's so important, because I think the disconnect in most people who had a connection with God at some point happens in the midst of tragedy, when everything that they thought about God seemingly was incorrect because of this tragedy. So tragedy makes us, well, first of all, it puts us in a dark place, in sorrow, in fear, in worry, in skepticism, and all of these human emotions, in anger, in grief, in apathy even. And we don't know how to handle it, especially if it's a tragedy, So how do you hold on to the things that are currently being shaken? Because it's like tragedy causes everything that we believe, our belief system, to just get a good shake, and all the things that may or may not have been in alignment starts to fall off. And some of the questions that you now have are big, overwhelming questions, So I think there is a lot of benefit in the way that Pastor Dave is able to address that issue. How do you hang on to God in the midst of shocking tragedy? Because of all the things that I've experienced in terms of with leaders, I don't think that anything has been as impactful as that tragedy. Okay, of course, I'm in the Bahamas as well, so the whole nation felt that
Yes.
tragedy. So what do you do in a situation and in a time like that? How do you hold on and not lose faith in your creator? That's such a powerful topic. I'm so happy that you had the courage to address that and bring him on.
Yes. Yes. And it is a weighty topic to discuss. And so I appreciated Pastor Dave's very honest responses that he provided to help people to understand how they can move beyond tragedy
Mhm.
and continue to trust God when that occurs. And so, if you'd like to take a look at that and hear what he had to say, by all means, by the end of this talk, I'll tell you how you can be a part of the Understanding God virtual summit and have access to those videos, to that video and others as well.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're going to drop the link in the comments. So just look out for it. You'll see it dropped below when we get off the broadcast. And that these types of topics, I think, are extremely relevant. It seems like you've really taken the time to put together very relevant questions, very relevant discussions, things that are timely. You've gone past the classic discussion of God and really put some meat to the bones of what the normal conversation is. So
Yes.
I really appreciate seeing the way the summit was put together and some of the topics that are there. So if those of you that are watching, if you find this topic exciting and something that you would like to really take advantage of hearing the different perspectives of the different experts, and I think you've gone through, that's what, 4 or 5 experts now from different angles and different topics.
We're on our sixth interview this week. And so I'm excited to announce who that will be actually today. So if you join the summit today, well, after you click on the link, you will see who that is. And I'm always excited to present our local experts. And so this one, uh, well, I'll give your audience, Danette, I'll give them the first insight into who that is. And that was Harrison Thompson. As you
Yes.
know, he's a very well-known vlogger and therapist here locally. He's known for his edgy videos and his frank style, and I appreciated that because again, I want to help people to appreciate that. Listen, God is not in a box, and he's creative, he's colorful, and the vessels that he chooses to use, of course, they come in all different shapes, sizes, and forms. And so I brought in a diversity of experts to speak and to share on the summit as well. And his topic that he spoke to was love and forgiveness, and we really had a good time chatting about that. And so again, yes, sign up so you can tune in and see what we had to say.
So Harrison is a relationship expert, isn't he? He's a relationship therapist.
Yes, he is a relationship therapist to help persons in all kinds of relationships, be they couples, parental, family relationships. And so he's really, really good at what he does. He's well, he's very knowledgeable and well experienced. And so he's another of those credible experts that I brought in. And speaking about that, I did my research. I am very careful to ensure that if I'm sharing information about my father, our creator, with people, I want to make sure that they are credible, and that what they're sharing is biblically sound information. And so you can be assured that that is the case. Um, I was very thorough in my approach before inviting persons to be on the Understanding God Summit.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I know you are a good steward of this work that you've been called to do. So I am excited to see this actually unfolding. And again, please, ladies, we're going to drop the link. Join the summit. Support your sister. Okay, she's out here. She will be a motivation for you. Okay, if you're thinking about something, she's also going to be a motivation for you to step out there. Okay, she did not know what it would be in the beginning. She just took the first step. So I'd like to leave with that thought. It's okay. You can take just the first step, and it doesn't have to be a very big step, but start moving in the direction of your calling, of that desire, of that call that's coming from the inside of you. Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am delighted to spend this time with you today. And I just want to wish you all the best, and, keep doing the work that you're doing, because you are filling a need in the market. So thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Danette. It was a pleasure. I always enjoyed chatting with you. And so I am absolutely honored. Thank you again. And thank you to your viewing audience for listening in. We appreciate it.
Okay, ladies, so Coffee Date with Danette has now moved to a 1 p.m. time on Tuesdays, the first 3 Tuesdays in the month, because it's summer and my daughter's home from college and she's working and I got to drop her to work, and you know how the mother thing goes, right? So we're moving. We haven't stopped. We've just shifted it to 1 p.m. So stay tuned next week at 1 p.m. The Coffee Date sessions are going to take the form of a lab. And when I say a lab, it means we've been talking about money and manifesting and God and spirituality. We're going to start putting some of those things to the test. So I'm going to be giving you step-by-step instructions, giving you examples of what I've done and what has worked for me, and sharing those with you at lunchtime. So you'll be able to grab your food, get on and get the information and go make your life powerful. Okay. So thank you so much for joining us today. Bye, Kinara. And ladies, I will see you next week. Bye-bye.
All right.